So we are back at the auction to pick up our winnings, see what David got to flip, see if my stuff I got even runs down the road. And the great thing about the auction is watching everybody try to load up stuff and how they do it, what they do it with. Like these guys over here are hauling lumber in a minivan. Looks like they hauled it out with that pickup and now they're transloading it over there for some reason. But we're in this big long line here. It starts over there, comes around the back, comes up here, goes all the way around again, and then all the way back to the gate. So we've got a ways to go before we get inside. And when we do, I will tell you the major mistake that I made in my auction purchases. I completely overlooked a big fact. Big fact of this whole deal.
I don't know what this is.
Where I was supposed to like make money. That's how I opened the whole auction video. Remember,
yeah.
It was like, I feel like making some money, so we're at the auction. I screwed up.
Did you break all 3 rules?
No, I followed rule number 2.
So you broke 2 out of the 3.
But I think you're the only one who's going to make any money out of this deal. I'll tell you in a bit. So we sat in the line outside the gate for an hour. We're finally inside, but we're not like really in. They just moved the whole line to the inside and way over there so they could clear out the parking lot because there's too many people out there. So I left David with the truck and trailer to wait for all the stuff that needs the forklift to load. I'm walking over here to get this thing checked out, fired up, and I'm going to try to get through that line of stuff over to that trailer and get it hooked up. So we're going to give this thing a good checking over, get it started, and see if we can hook it to a trailer. Alright, we got coolant, a little on the low side, but not bad at all. Check oil. Should have checked oil before I bought it. Looks pretty decent and right where it needs to be. Belts are all, that one's on the slightly loose side, but all that runs is the AC, so I don't think it sees much pressure on it. Looking pretty good. Let's fire it up. Oh, it's dead. So the key was on, and now it's dead. Of course. So when I got in it, the key was on and I heard like lights clicking and stuff. So I figured it was gonna be, he got him a forklift, but now I need some new deck boards to go with it. Both those back ones punched through the deck. Okay, now for the moment of truth. Drive. Does it drive? It's got 1 gear. That means eventually we can make it home. Oh yeah. Auto shift into second. So this thing has a clutch pedal. So you got to push in the clutch, put it into drive, then let out the clutch to start moving, and then it shifts on its own. Or you can use the buttons right here to manually shift it. And then when you come to a stop, you got to push in the clutch again to stop. Kind of a goofy manual and automatic all at the same time. The good thing is it is an Eaton 13-speed manual transmission, so the clutch is already there. You can pull this shift tower out and bolt an actual normal manual shift tower in and have a normal 13-speed transmission in this thing. Pretty cool. Okay, we got it hooked up and we pulled out where we were because you can see there's a mess of trucks over there. That was the spot where it was sitting, waiting to get loaded. So I got it just hooked and drug out of there. We got the hitch hooked up. This is an air ride fifth wheel hitch down here. Electric plugged in, safety cords plugged in. I got to check lights still, so I should do that, but got all the front cabinets closed up. Side cabinets closed up. Got all the slides folded in nice. Awnings in nice. Inside, I think everything is pretty well good to go, and I can't wait to show you guys what we're going to do with this. Part of it makes me sad. Part of it makes me happy. Also, I'm going to tell you the story about this trailer and that toter and how they came to be at this auction. One thing we didn't show you there is we didn't see, it's got a little washer dryer unit in it. So that's cool. Okay, let's get the steps folded. Okay. We've got 2 headlights, blinkers. That side marker's working. It's like one of the cab lights is out. That side marker's working. Those are on for some reason. Lights are on back here. Oh, we've got our flashers all working at the back. Looks like all the clearance lights up there are working, as are the ones down the side there and there. So all the trailer lights seem to be working good. For some reason the truck brake lights are on, but I don't know if on this truck when you have the brakes set, it sets the brake lights. I've seen some that do that. Man, that is a unit right there. What a setup to go down the road in. Now that trailer is huge, but looking in the mirror behind this thing, it doesn't seem so big, which is why you tow it with things like this. Okay, we're gonna pull this thing out the gate. I've completely lost David. I don't know where he is, if he's got it, if he needs help, if he's found some forklifts to take care of him. But we're heading out the gate. And then we'll park this out there, and then we'll all regroup out there, make sure everything's strapped down good on his, give this one final walk around, and then we got to get it up over the top of the Cascade Mountains to get it home. That'll be the ultimate test of how this thing's running, is if it makes it up over the Cascades. So David's been in there for quite a while. I think I might have lost him, but then I realized there's a taco stand over there, and I have like a whole dinette here, so I went and got some tacos, go sit down at my table, enjoy the AC that's blowing out of those vents, eat me some tacos while David's out there trying to figure out how to strap down all this stuff. Well, there you are.
The guy was not very helpful on the forklift.
Dude, they were all super helpful and awesome to me.
Not for me.
Oh, man. All right, let's see what you got.
I didn't fully strap everything down yet, but...
Nice disclaimer.
I just threw one on everything, just
yeah.
in case.
We'll put a second one on this front stack. Second one on here, second one on there, and we could be like that guy earlier, just take one piece of string
back and forth the whole way around
over the whole thing. So explain to everybody what you got here and what your plan is.
A bunch of truck boxes. They were sold in sets of 3, I believe. Got them for, I think 6 of them for 250 bucks.
So you got all these for 250?
Yep, and I'm hoping to try and sell them for 100, 150 each. Make some good profit off that.
So you clean them up, get them all nice and shiny. Might have to straighten this one up some.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do good on that. That's a side box.
Yeah.
Actually looks like 2 of them. Yeah, you do good.
Yeah.
And then I got a couple pallets of cribbing blocks to use on the low bed trailers and towing and hauling stuff. It's just incredibly handy to have lots of cribbing blocks. So these are 6x8s and 6x6s. And I gotta say, in the pictures online when we walked by them out there, it didn't look like there was that many of them.
Yeah.
I bought a lot of blocks.
The guy had a lot of problems getting these on here. He had me back down this alley all the way, and I did, and then he was stuck trying to like push him forward.
Oh.
But
well, let's
it ended up working. So.
Yeah. Let's finish strapping this down. I got my setup ready to go. Do you want to go get some tacos or something? I'll strap this.
Sure, yeah.
Since you've been going this whole time. Okay, take
Thank
that.
you.
Go get some tacos. I've been sitting in the AC eating tacos this whole time. We've been here, what time is it?
It is 2:30.
So we've been here 2.5 hours since we pulled in the driveway. All right, go get some lunch. I'll do this for you. Okay, I got David all tied down. You got some tacos. You still have my card. Don't forget that.
Right here.
Thank you. And then we're gonna run right down the road right here to the CFN station, get some fuel for that one because it's empty, and then see how that big old setup makes it over the mountains. And then I found some more cool stuff in this that we didn't see the first time, so we'll go over that when we get home, and also the big mistake I made with this whole auction purchase thing. I already know of one mistake. We're gonna find out once driving that down the road if we made 2 mistakes. She's a cruiser so far, so good. It went all the way up to 10th gear. I believe we've got 13 in this one. We'll find out when we hit the highway, but right up here we're gonna pull in and we're gonna get some fuel, so we'll see. Oh, I see, I think I pull in right there. It's downshifting, doing its thing. That is awesome. Okay, so far, I've made it all the way from there to here, which is like not even a mile from the auction. We're getting this tank, filled up that tank, now getting this tank full, but so far happy. It shifted when it was supposed to shift, it went when it was supposed to go, no crazy noises, did what it was supposed to do. We're gonna pull out of here and head back out towards I-5 and get on the highway. See if it makes it all the way to that 13th gear and then point it towards the mountains. So we're all done fueling up. I had to point this out. David parked over here, right in front of this super nice Western Star Power Hood rollback. That's a, I think it's the Miller, maybe it's a Jerridan, oh, Century, whatever, Miller, same thing. Rollback on a Western Star Power Hood. That's a 65-ton rotator, and it's purple, so that makes it extra cool. And then check this over here. It's a super nice Western Star 49X 35-ton wrecker. That had like a Zacklift on the back, a Genesis, with the extra tunnel boxes up there. That'd be a sweet truck. Okay, ready to head over the mountain?
I am.
Let's see how this goes. Okay, we are cruising at about 95 mile an hour because this is a Canadian truck and those are kilometers an hour. But we're doing 60, dead on 60. This is a 10 speed because our display is saying we're at 10. And man, it got right up to speed and it is just, it's cruising. Oh, we've got a, move over here. Got a worker truck on the side of the road. Yeah, good so far out on I-5. So we're gonna head a little farther up and I don't know what he's doing. All right, we're good. And then get back on the highway over the mountains, which are over there. So we're pulled over because my air ride hitch dropped to the bottom. Well, it didn't like drop, it's like gone to the bottom and the leveling valve is just blowing air out and won't pick it up. I don't know what's going on. Granted, like, this is fine. We can drive it like this, but the leveling valve is all the way down, which should not be leaking air. So I don't know, my leveling valve went out. I wonder if it has like a dump switch somewhere that got, it's just like a dump switch. I don't think so. Kinds of little parts. Transmitter for the receiver for wireless camera. Light bulbs. Air fittings. But it's not leaking bad enough that like it won't hold air. It's maintaining air pressure. For it not to be leaking. Okay, I was gonna give up on it to say it was okay, but then I didn't because the air leak bothered me. So I just took the line that feeds the leveling valve and I folded it in half and then I taped it. And now no air is coming through that line to the valve. So the hitch is gonna stay all the way down, which is fine. And it's not leaking air, so now I'm not gonna be bleeding air off out of the truck. And then we can put a new valve in it or whatever it ends up needing. I don't know, that red line to it might be a dump valve switch, and there's a dump valve somewhere on this that I haven't found yet. Once we're home, we can crawl under and trace lines, we'll see, and try to figure out what it is. But other than that, we're pretty happy with everything, I think. Are you happy?
It's still running.
it's still running, so I'm happy. All right, we got the big climb now up to the top of Santiam Pass, and we'll see how it does on that. It's been doing fine so far, so we'll see. That's Hoodoo Ski Resort up there. Man, we're gonna have to let off a little for some of these turns, but buried foot in the throttle, we'll stay in it, it'll do it. Buried foot in the throttle, we're doing 55 miles an hour up the hill, 28 pounds of manifold pressure, that's your turbo boost. Looking at 850, and I do have to back off, 850 on the exhaust gas temperature, 55 pounds of oil pressure, and we're sitting right about 195 degrees coolant temperature. All those are very happy numbers to see. All good. So we made it home, as you can see, and don't worry, the trailer made it home too. It's right there. This is actually a couple days later, because when we got home that evening from the auction, it was evening and David had to get going to get to class. You see, he decided to spend his summer break from college working for me during the day and taking more college classes at night. So he had to take off and get to that. But we got the toter home. We got the toter home, that's what it's called. We got the trailer home, and I know earlier I told you I had the backstory on this setup that I was going to tell you. And turns out I only had a fraction of the backstory, because the video of the auction itself posted this morning that I'm filming this right now, and the owner, previous owner of this setup, is a subscriber of my channel and a fan, saw that I bought it and called me, and I got the full story on the whole thing, which is absolutely awesome. So we're going to start with the truck here. This is a 2001 Volvo 770. It's got the Detroit Series 60 engine in it, an Eaton 10-speed auto shift transmission. I know I kept saying 13, even though in the video when we first went and looked at this, I said 10. I knew it was a 10, but I owned a truck with one of those Eaton auto shifts previously. It was a 13, so I think that's why I thought 13. But it's an Eaton 13-speed, 3-pedal auto shift. Obviously brought down to a single axle. This was originally a tandem axle truck. And you see the bed here has this seam in it. And that is because when the previous owners, the ones who took it to the auction, when they bought it, it was already converted to the RV and all that, but it was 3 feet longer and had a big, huge box on the back here that housed motorcycles and had a lift in the back to set motorcycles up and down. But when hooked to that trailer, they were just over 65 feet long, and there's a lot of places that are 65-foot length restrictions. Then some places just for RVs in general, overall some states like Oregon, 65-foot length restriction. So they had the bed cut down, they had that box removed, this bed cut down, and that's why there's this seam in it right here. The company that did it kept the whole back end and back bumper, shortened the frame, and then spliced it back together right here. So these eye bolts here, or these threaded sections here, if you look up in here, open this, here's the lifting lugs. Well, of course I grabbed the rustiest one, that screw into those, so you can lift this back section off, or you can grab these holes here, lift this section off, and that big huge locker up there has lifting eyes on top of it, so you can lift that off as well. So all of this is like a big Lego set. You can change this around and remove and replace, and a whole bunch of stuff super easy. On the back here you can see it has an air ride fifth wheel hitch, but as you saw 5 minutes ago in the video, if that, I believe this leveling valve blew out or something got in there and gummed it up and just jammed the thing open, because it was just dumping full air pressure straight out the exhaust port of the leveling valve with no air pressure in the bags. So this truck is actually going to McCulley's tomorrow morning, which is why I'm hurrying up and filming this evening as the sun going down, since I have the truck here to do it right now. And I'm going to have them probably just throw a new leveling valve on there, so we don't got to worry about that anymore. And then this rides on its own air suspension so that it's nice and smooth on the trailers it's pulling. The truck itself is also air ride, and the cab is air ride as well. And I can tell you, this is one smooth riding, just comfortable as can be truck to drive down the road. Especially since it's got like a normal front axle in it, and I'm used to big, beefy, stiff, heavy front axles. This thing's an absolute Cadillac. It also has on the back here, you see it's got normal 2-inch receiver hitch here. You can put a pintle or a ball hitch in here. You're safe to chain tie-offs. And something I really like is right here, they left the air glad hands on the back. A lot of people that do these conversions and then set up to pull a fifth wheel travel trailer with them. They don't replumb all the air for the trailer back here because they think, you know, they're going to be pulling a fifth wheel. It's got electric brakes on it. You don't need all that, but this one still has the option to pull air brake trailers and still has the 7-round plug on the back to plug into those air brake trailers, which gives me an idea for the trailer I want to get for this thing, because I don't think I've said yet in the video that I'm not keeping that one. So you see it's got great tires on the back, in really good shape. The tires on the front had good tread on them, but were date coded 2013. And that's just a little bit too old for me to want to be trusting. So this morning I took it up to Bend Commercial Tire. They threw 2 brand new steers on it for me. We got that taken care of. I have trust issues with steer tires. If I have even the slightest question about the integrity of a steer tire, it gets brand new ones. Again, which is why all 3 of those trucks have brand new steer tires on them. So in here, sorry, it's kind of a mess. I threw a bunch of stuff in here. So we're coming home on the side of the road. You see this thing's got an inverter in it to run AC power through the inside of it there. It's got a plug right here so you can plug into shore power, just like an RV. Bunch of little extra parts and pieces and air fittings and light bulbs and stuff like that. Of course, the lifting lugs for the bed here, which you could also use as some super heavy duty tie downs, or you can use these as mounting bolts, or mounting, because they go all the way through here too, to mount different framework. If you want to build some different thing back here, you've got super stout spot to mount to. So that could come in handy in the future. But yeah, it's got, you know, your tow hooks up here as a tow truck operator. I like seeing that those are in place. Look at this, all different sizes of air hose in case you have any problems or blow a line on the road. All the different sizes of air hose that are in this truck, there's coils and coils of spares of sitting right there. Now I told you it was a 2001 with a Series 60 Detroit, and what that means is it's from the glory days of diesel engines. And now to me, the glory days of trucks were probably 1998 to 2002, and you could maybe even with some brands shorten that down to 1999 to 2001. That is when they were fully electronically controlled ECM engines, but before they had any sort of emission systems put on them. So they run clean, they don't smoke. Well, you could tune them to do it, but normally, as long as you don't do anything stupid and crazy, you can make good power, good efficiency and fuel mileage with no smoke, even though they don't have all the emission stuff in them. So no EGR, because that got put in 2003, and a lot of them 2002, and some then 2004 and 5. I think everything had it by then. So if you look here, the coolest thing happens on this truck. That there is the exhaust manifold. The exhaust comes out, goes through the turbo, and then it leaves. That's it. That's all it does. It doesn't go through a whole bunch of other stuff. It doesn't go through filters. It doesn't go through SCR systems or back through the engine again. It just leaves. And more air comes in, you make more power, you get more mileage, down the road you go. The way a diesel engine should be. I know there's a lot of guys out there going to argue with me right now and say that the mechanical motors were better than the ones with the ECMs and computer controls, and I disagree with that. There's a simplicity there. Yes, I get that. But when you want to talk about getting fuel mileage and good power wherever you go, the ECM motors, they know, hey, we're at 10,000 feet. We ain't getting much air up here. We can adjust, so we're not going to be rolling black smoke out trying to do the same thing that we're doing when we run down at 2,000 feet. Or the other way around of, hey, this is a truck that was tuned mechanically for way up here high in the sky, and now we're driving around down along the beach, and this thing is just getting all kinds of air and not enough fuel and running like a dog. These motors, they can adjust, they can do what they need to do. If something starts getting out of spec temperature-wise, exhaust gas temperature, coolant, oil temperature like that, they can back themselves down and tune themselves down and protect themselves. You're not relying so much on the driver. I think this is, like I said, the glory days of the diesel engine is this generation right here. So very happy to have that one. So now let's hop inside this thing. You can see clutch pedal, and the inside is so well taken care of. Forgive my mess of cords in here from driving home. This thing is in absolutely beautiful shape here. Electric trailer brake controller right here. This is the monitor for the Eaton transmission here. If like I said, if worse goes to worse, I'm like, I just got to get rid of all this mess and go back to a manual. You literally unbolt all this out of the floor, take it out, drop in a shifter, bolted into the top of the transmission, and flash the ECM so it doesn't try to run the throttle to shift, and get rid of that out of the ECM, and you got a manual transmission truck. Let's get some lights turned on here. There we go. It's one of the biggest selling points when it comes to convenience and using this thing to stay in and be like a small RV, obviously, the dinette sleeper. Having an actual table to sit at. Most trucks, it's just a bed. That's all you got is a bed to sit in. This has an actual dinette. I can sit here, I can edit videos, I can sit down and eat a meal. The convenience factor of that is huge. And then up here, you got your full bed up here. So for me, this will stay in this configuration pretty much all the time. And this is where I'll sleep up here. This will be my bedroom. This will be my kitchen, living room. This will be my office. And the amount of storage this thing has, just everywhere you look, even down another layer down here. Got a sunroof up there. That's pretty cool. You got your curtain here to wall off this part if someone's driving up front and you want your privacy back here. Or you got your curtains there that go all the way around the front up there if you want the maximum amount of living space through the whole thing when you're staying in the truck parked somewhere. Parked, obviously. You can't drive when the windshield's blocked. So we got the fridge down here. Oh, this is the one for the fridge. The fridge works great. I had it running for a full day just off the battery of the truck. Runs awesome. Freezer freezes. Fridge is nice and cool. So that works. Got a nice drawer here for putting stuff in. And then in here, you got your microwave cabinet. More shelving for storage. More shelving. Look at this, even come with some forks and cutlery. It's all in styrofoam there so you don't break your plate bouncing down the road, but I don't think that would happen anyway. So like I said, this thing rides like a freaking Cadillac. The mirror there, that's what you guys look like. So much storage in this truck. Look at, even behind the seat pad over here, there's more storage. Also check out these cool little flip out cup holders. They're there, way up here. Is there one over there? No, just the one here. You see you got more reading lights up there. This of course all folds up, and then this is a stand-up walkthrough all the way in there and back. More storage up around the top up there. I really like the ladder for getting to the upper bunk. Check that out. And you climb right in, and it folds right up, back out of the way. Speaking of the upper bunk, look what I found in the upper bunk. The maintenance manual for the truck and the engine. Manual for the stereo. The operator's manual for the transmission. Engine operator's guide for the Detroit Series 60 diesel. Warranty information for the Detroit diesel. Obviously we're out of warranty, but you know, it's got it. Engine brake stuff. All the, look at this. All the diagnostic codes and what they are for this engine. And I have the computer that plugs into the ECM port on this truck that can read all the codes. And now I have the card right here that tells me everything they are. All of them through there. Remember I said that ECM was actually an advantage? That's where it becomes an advantage. We can plug into this truck and have full diagnostic capability. And mine, I believe, tells me what all the codes are. It doesn't just spit out a code number, but if all you have is one of the cheaper units that just spits out a code number, here's how you decode it right there. Mine does say like all the actual information about the code and live data and all that stuff, but Volvo V&L full operator's manual. So all that very handy stuff to have. And then this right here, I'll bring downstairs to show you this. This box is worth gold to me, and I opened it upside down. But this is all the records and service history and receipts and invoices and all of it labeled mechanical receipts, air conditionings, battery replaced, when they were replaced, everything about the bed build right here. You can see drawings and schematics and wiring diagrams for stuff. Like this is all custom built, so obviously you get into the wiring and everything, and the lights and the electrical in the bed, like it ain't from a factory. But here's diagrams. We can go through all of that. And I'm not going to show you like the actual invoices themselves, so they have like their personal information and addresses and stuff on them. But man, it's got every bit of history you could want to know about this truck is in this box right here. That, like I said, is worth absolute gold, and that says a lot about how much the people that had this cared for this truck, which is again worth absolute gold. Now if we look over here, you can see in the closet there's a portable toilet. Now the reason there's a portable toilet on a truck that pulled a big giant RV back there is because in order to be registered as an RV, which the truck is, which gets you out of all the DOT regulations, you don't have to run logbooks, you don't have to stop at scales, you don't have to have a Class A license to drive the thing because it's an RV. So no hours of service, none of the DOT trucking stuff applies. Driving this down the road is exactly the same as driving my actual RV down the road. The rules are no different. But in order to be qualified and registered as an RV, you have to have a place to sleep, which has there, and here. You have to have a way to store food, which it has here, a way to cook food, that microwave in there, and a way to go to the bathroom, which it has right there. And it all has to be accessible from the driver's compartment. You can't just stick, a box on the back or a camper in the bed of a pickup and call it an RV. It has to be accessible from the driver's compartment, which obviously this is. Now, a lot of people will go buy a portable toilet, put in here. A lot of them will even have it just like under the seat, still brand new in the box. Never even take it out of the box, but it qualifies it as an RV because you're going to obviously use your bathroom as your big giant bathroom in the trailer over there, which would normally be hooked to the back. So it has a portable toilet. A portable toilet has to stay in it in order to legally be an RV, so it will. But nowadays there are ones that are far, far, far smaller than that. So I'm going to order the smallest one I can find, put that in here, and then we're legally still an RV. Which for me, the smallest one I can find doesn't matter because my portable toilet is built in right here. So I'm never going to even be able to use one. So the smallest one I can find takes up the least space, giving me the most storage space back. And we'll get that stuck in there and be good to go. So let's get this hood back shut. This thing's gonna get a nice good bath once it comes back from the shop. Like I said, it's going to Macaulay's in the morning, but I'm actually gonna load my daughter up and take her to school in this in the morning and then take it to the shop. And she came and checked it out and crawled through it. She is super excited to go to school in this thing in the morning. She usually likes driving in the old car, but she saw this and she wants to go in this. So this is what we're going to take. Then we get into the shop. It's going to get a full service, front to back, full inspection. Anything it needs, get taken care of. Oil change, fluids, get the leveling valve on that hitch taken care of. The AC is really weak in it, so get that straightened out. And I don't think it had anything else that needed. Oh, an ABS light came on the way home for a minute, but then it went back out. I'm gonna have them check that out while it's there. Just basically a front to back inspection like it was getting a DOT inspection, even though it doesn't need one. But we're gonna have done to it. That way we can load it up and head out on our 2,000-mile road trip that we're taking this whole setup on here in just a few days, actually. Bought it without ever test driving it. 2,000-mile road trip, because that's how we do things. Now the trailer here, this is a 2006. I just have these panels open right here because these are the controls for the jack. It's got a self-leveling jack system right here that also runs your front jacks for your landing gear. You can see all your wiring and stuff in here. Very, very well done. In there is a 5,500 watt propane generator. In there is just access to all the hydraulic side of the jack system. In here you've got two big propane tanks to run the generator, run heaters, stuff like that. I wish my RV over there had propane tanks this big. I think it has one. I don't even know if it's as big as this. So when you're out dry camping, you're not hooked up to something power wise, you go through propane pretty quick. So that kind of sucks. Now in here, They've done a lot of custom stuff. This here is a whole water filtration, water softener system they set up in here. You can see we got valves. All your filters right here, easy to access. Water pump right there, super easy. There's a bunch more spare filters up in there. These are just the pads to go under the landing gear. All your power cords, a mile of storage. I know it's really dark right now, so you can't see super good. Big inverters up there. That over there, right there, that is a control system for the awning on the other side, for an automatic awning that it has. And it's all plumbed and wired so nicely. Everything is in line, everything is easy to see, easy to make sense of. If you go look underneath my brand new, stupidly expensive, fancy RV over there at the plumbing and the wiring, and it looks like a drunk person threw spaghetti all over there. There's wires and crap running everywhere. So this is very, very refreshing to see. And it's also just an absolute ton of storage in there. You'll see on the inside, storage is the name of the game with this RV. So it is a triple axle. You see it's got the heavy 16 ply tires on it. Those are 8,000 pound oil bath axles. So that's a heavy duty setup. I believe the gross vehicle weight rating of this trailer is 28,000 pounds. The trailer should weigh, I weighed the whole setup on the way home and was 40,000 pounds, and that's dead empty. There's no furniture in there. There's no water in the tanks, no nothing. Truck, of course, empty as it can be, and we were 40,000 pounds. That truck can't be that heavy. That's got to be 17,000-ish, I'm gonna say. We'll find out when we go on a road trip, because this is not coming home from the road trip. So that means this is well over 20,000 pounds. And that's why you tow it with something like that and not a pickup. I know you're gonna tell me my pickup can tow 20,000, 25,000 pounds. No problem. Cool story. How long can it do it for? Not as long as that. Anyway, the whole trunk storage in the back that folds up, tons of storage there. Receiver hitch back here for racks or whatever you want to do. Big old windows out the back. The awning here, like I said, automatic awning system, but also remote control awning system. So it's a Dometic awning setup. Awning comes out with your remote, you tell it to go out, and there's also switches inside to do it manually. But it has a control system on it. I'm gonna put it all the way out because I'm just gonna put it back in. But if you put this out, head to town, go to the beach, do whatever you're gonna do, and the wind kicks up, well, you're gonna either come back to a ripped off awning if you don't have this system, but this one has a wind sensor on it that will automatically pull the awning back in and put it away if the wind gets too high. So then you come back to your RV at the end of the day. Sorry, that's me on the button. And your awning is all folded back up, sitting there safe as can be, just like it should be. We'll flip on some lights here, and you'll notice, oh, those are the outside lights on the other side, so we don't need those. But you notice everything lit up, no problem. This trailer set at the auction for who knows how long. Well, the previous owner I was talking to on the phone earlier today, he knows how long. I don't. Long time. Then it's been sitting here in my yard. It's not been plugged into anything. The battery's still got tons of power. All the lights work because this has a solar system on top with a bunch of big solar panels up there. This also controls that propane generator, and you can set it up to automatic setup where when the batteries drop below a certain voltage, if the solar's not keeping up with it or whatever, it'll fire up that generator, charge up the big battery bank, and then you're back good to go. The generator will shut off once it's charged. Kind of like the EcoFlow setup I have now, but this setup was done, I believe he said, back in 2007. So he said that those panels are probably not nearly as efficient as what you can get today, but it's clearly still working. You can see no sun. This thing, we've been doing lights and running the slides and all that, and we still got plenty of battery sitting there. I don't know what these switches do. I should have asked him while I was talking to him, but I kind of mess with them and they don't seem to do anything, but I'm sure there's a reason for those. Okay, so I ran the big slide out here. That one there goes out as well. Obviously it goes way out, which makes this a huge space in here. I'm not gonna slide it out right now because these are really big slides and they move really slow. As you can see, it's getting really late really quick, and my goal is to get done with this whole tour before my daughter goes to bed so that I say goodnight to her without delaying her bedtime. But yeah, basically just imagine that wall all the way back there, all the way across to over there, having that big old huge counter that's all open right here, and all of this being out there. And this whole desk, kind of, basically this would be your office nook. Huge, huge, huge bonus to the person this trailer is going to. As I said, I'm not keeping it. We're hauling it down to Southern California. I'll tell you more about that in just a second, but deep, deep storage. Like I said, the name of the game of this trailer is storage. The previous owners bought the trailer, so New Horizon. They're a very high-end trailer. They still make them to this day, but they do very limited build numbers. I think he said like 30 or 40 a year is all they build, and they're very, very well built. This one here, from the previous owners, when they bought it, they gutted this thing and they built all of this out themselves to be exactly what they wanted. Your big limitations in RVs: storage for one, counter space is another, tiny little sinks that are super annoying. This has none of that stuff. This was built to live in, which is exactly what they wanted to do. They built it to do. What they did with this trailer is, obviously they had the toter, they had the trailer. They had a 1,000 Trails RV membership, which is RV parks all over the country that are part of the 1,000 Trails group. We actually have that same membership. And it gets you to 3-week stays at different RV parks. So retired couple that use this setup to travel the country 3 weeks at a time. So they would go to an RV park, they would set this up, and they would stay there for 3 weeks. And they would explore the area, check stuff out, use that toter home as their daily driver, because this thing drives great. If needed to, you could rent a car and go somewhere, but they'd stay there for 3 weeks, check out everything there was to check out, pack it up, head to another state, another place, another region, set it for another 3 weeks, and they spent 5 years doing that, exploring the whole country. But basically, living out of the thing, you want all the conveniences of home, which is big counter space, a full-size sink. Unlike my RV, it's probably that big and not nearly that deep. So whatever, not even close to this. This one has a dishwasher in it, which is awesome. Convection oven up here, no stovetop, but you can get the electric ones and put right here. And this has the whole hood vent up here to, vent everything. And then you plug it in right up there. So you see you got power and everything right here in the inverter. You got a full size, like normal household fridge here. I think this is just as big as the fridge that's in my house. Pantry over here is pretty cool because it's got this lock right here. You pull this out, and then these are all drawers that slide out, so you're not having to try to reach over and get stuff. All these drawers slide right out here to make it nice and easy, and this goes up in there and then drop back there, locks them all in place. So here you've got, your HVAC system, your AC, your heater, and all that stuff. But what this one also has down here, you'll see this propane quick connect here, and then there's another propane quick connect up here in the bathroom right there. And they said what they found to work way better and be way more efficient than the big propane heat system in the trailer is just getting those Mr. Buddy heaters. He said plug one in there, plug one in up there, and you could be in sub-zero snowstorms and it will cook you out of this thing. Especially with these right here. See, these are all labeled, and each one that actually says left side kitchen sink. So we'll go over here. Each one is cut to fit a certain window. And there are insulators for every single window in this whole thing, and every single one is labeled just like that. So if you're trying to keep it super warm in here or keep the heat super out, you put those up in your windows and you're good to go. Now what he did say is in here there's a switch. I can't remember if it was in there. Like I said, all this is open all the way down there when that slide is out. I may have heard wrong. Look at the amount of storage. Or is it just this? Either way, there's a switch they put in here. I'll find it somewhere in the setup that you turn on while you have your Mr. Buddy heaters running. And it runs the ductwork all through the floor, just circulating air, fans only. And he said, you have those heaters going and that air circulating, so it circulates that hot air through the whole system 1,000,000 times better than its actual HVAC system that the trailer has. Now back to our whole storage game. Every space you can think of has storage. There's no waste of space in this whole trailer, including pocket doors to close off the whole bathroom bedroom area. Closets here. Walk up the stairs into the bathroom. Another pocket door here comes across so you can, you know, get your bathroom area closed off. Nice size sink, nice counter, backsplash, a mirror, and a guy with a camera. Medicine cabinet. And check out the lights. This is super cool. So I want to put this like in the bathroom of my house. In the camera, that light is flashing. In real life, that's not happening. But say this is too bright for you. Say you want a little brighter. Just give it a little tap. Brightens up. Give it a little tap. Hold on, I tapped it too many times. Whatever. It dims down even more. But I'm not very good at this. So that goes brighter and dimmer. So at night, you know, you don't want super bright in your bathroom. Dim that down. Shower here. Nice shower setup with the soap and shampoo dispensers on the wall right here, so they're not bouncing around. Like, that's something we need. That's an idea we need to steal for our RV over there. Toilet, composting toilet. Now, we have a normal black tank in our RV, and you got to go dump it, and it fills up. And when it's full, especially when the three of us are in there, like you can only like dry camp for so long, so you're out like boondocking, not in an RV park, before you have to go dump your tanks and all that. Composting toilets, supposedly that little composting toilet lasts like weeks of full-time use, far longer than a black tank setup. And when it's done, you pull it out and go throw it in the garbage, and it's all done. So that's something I need to look at for ours, of converting over from black tank to a composting toilet, and if that's something that might be a lot better for us, because we like to camp not in RV parks. We prefer out in the woods, out in the forests, on our own, not hooked up to stuff, and to be able to prolong that even longer without having to go to RV parks would be a good idea. So I'm going to look into that for ours. A mirror would normally go there, but it's not there right now, so it'll need to get put back. Washer and dryer combo unit in here. That is another thing I wish I had in my RV, especially with a now 7-year-old who likes to go play in the dirt and the water and the sand and the beach and the mud and everything else, and get like 5 sets of clothes dirty a day. That washer dryer setup would be a game changer for our camping. And then back into the bedroom here. Storage, 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 storage. Down here, even more freaking storage. Everywhere you look is storage, including the very bed itself. Storage. They set this thing up to live comfortably in full time for years on the road, which is exactly what they did with it, and is exactly what my brother-in-law is going to be doing with it down in Southern California. He lives in LA, like in the city. He doesn't want to live in the city anymore. I fully understand that, because when my wife and I first got married, I moved down there, lived in the city with her for 6 months, and that was all I could take. I moved out. So he still needs to be in that area, because that's where his business is and all his work, his customers, his everything. So he doesn't want to leave SoCal in general, but needs to get out of the city. So he got a piece of property he can set up out to the east of the city. A little more rural, open property. There are RV hookups on the property, so he was looking for a travel trailer to set up there and be basically new place to live. And we kind of helped him look for some, gave him some ideas, checked some stuff out. And then I spotted this one, and this trailer is actually the reason I went over to the auction, was to look at this trailer and see, because you don't know in the auction, is it there because the roof leaked and damaged the whole thing? Is the frame broke? Like, you don't know. You got to go there and check it out, especially something this big and this many different systems and stuff in it. So this trailer is actually the reason I went to the auction. And then while I was there, I got to talking to one of the auction guys about the truck, the matching truck being there as well. And that was kind of the bonus that I saw and really kind of had to have for myself. So I went over to look at this, took a bunch of pictures of it, showed it to my brother-in-law, told him about it, and told him exactly that of, hey, if you're wanting one you can live in, this is it. Like, you put your dinette right here, your little table, your chairs for him and his girlfriend. Couch can go right there. Use this for your computer monitor, which will also be your TV. When you're watching TV, again, all this, slides way out. And then for his business, he's a graphic designer. He does graphic design, builds websites. He helped, him and my wife did both of our websites, the Cascade Heavy Rescue and the Casey Liddell website. And then he also edits videos, like YouTube videos, actually for a much, much bigger channel than mine. So having this whole office space right here is going to be a huge, huge bonus for him. So the previous owners, they built this setup to live in and travel the country. That's exactly what they did. A huge sink, huge counter space, washer, dryer, dishwasher, full-size fridge, tons of storage, all the comforts of home so they could live in it comfortably and could just continue the retirement trip. And they did that for 5 years. Said they absolutely enjoyed the thing, the places it took them, the things they see. They loved every minute of it. Unfortunately, the wife got real sick, had some health issues, and they had to get off the road, head back home, settle it down, and then battle that for quite a while. The good news is she's beat all that. She's come out of it. She's doing great. They're doing good, but they kept this setup the whole time, and they realized they're not going to go back out on the road. They kind of did the things they wanted to do, saw the country they wanted to see, and it's time to settle it down. So he said he put it on Facebook Marketplace, and he said by about the second phone call he got from Facebook Marketplace, he was done with dealing with the people on Facebook Marketplace, which I can sympathize with very, very well. So he tried the Facebook Marketplace thing, didn't have the patience for the people that reach out through Facebook Marketplace. Finally had enough of that, got frustrated, hooked it all up, took it down to the auction, and not the way they wanted to sell it. Not so much for like auction price, all that, but more for like, you know, not having the connection of knowing who it was going to, being able to give them advice and tips on what was what, since this is all a custom build. So it kind of sucks, but off it's going to go, and it just is what it is. And then he was watching my video this morning, the one that posted this morning, of me at the auction and then buying the setup and being a subscriber for my channel for years. He called me this afternoon, and I am so glad he did. We talked for probably 45 minutes over the truck and the trailer setup and just in general out RVing and stuff. So that was super cool, and I got a lot of good information on the trailer since this is a very custom systems build, and that'll be very good for my brother-in-law's. He's using it and needs to know anything or has any problems. We got the guy to call with all the information on it. But Curtis, thank you so much for reaching out. I very much appreciate that. I felt really comfortable buying this thing after I saw the condition of the trailer and the truck. And then, oh, even in here, check this out. All the manuals and records for literally everything on the trailer side, just like the truck. So like I said, you could tell this is something that the previous owners really loved and took care of. Then talking to him today, confirmed it. So I think it's kind of a win-win all the way around. Like, that truck's going to do great for me and what I need it for. This is going to be an awesome setup for my brother-in-law and really, really help him out. And Curtis, I'm very, very glad your wife is doing better and that this worked so well for you guys and took you around the country and did the things you wanted to do. And trust me, I technically own this thing at the moment. My brother-in-law hasn't paid me yet. The deal was he wasn't signed up for the auction. I was. He gave me a limit, bid up to it, and then when I deliver it to him down in Southern California, he'll pay me for it, just what I paid for it at the auction. So I'm not like making any money off of it. But at the moment, I own it. And when my wife walked through here yesterday and checked this whole thing out and how it was set up, she said, like, you know, can my brother just buy our motorhome instead and we keep this one? And I trust me, that was tempting, and it's not the worst idea I've ever heard. But for now, this is going to sit here for a few more days. Then we're going to load up and road trip this whole setup. I think round trip's going to come out to like 2,000 miles with the loop that we're going in that new toter. This trailer, of course, is going to go almost half that. But for now, we're going to flip back to daytime when I film the other part of this video and show you what David got out of the auction. It got very dark out here very quick, but long story short, awesome setup that I was very, very lucky to win out of that auction. And the fact that it all came from a subscriber of mine turned out to be a super awesome dude. That's just icing on the cake, brings this whole thing around full circle. So now back to David's auction score. All right, hop on up there. Hey, there's steps right there. I'll use the steps. So we got all David's auction score loaded up. or unloaded, spread out the checkout. This one I think is your worst of all of them with the dented top, but a lot of that can be straightened.
Same with the razor.
Nice. It's got the sliding drawer in there. All of these I noticed are all Weather Guard and Highway Products boxes. That's like not cheapy knockoff stuff. That's the good stuff. These are steel boxes here. They're gonna be, look how clean that one is in there. So this is a side mount box mount to that way. So it's got an upper shelf. That's a score right there. That's a good one. It's even got the mounting brackets on it. This is a side mount box meant to stand up and something. It's very straight.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Aluminum cross bed box. Oh, we're on the wrong side. Press the button. There you go. Yeah, got the tray, some free nails. Not a bunch of holes in the bottom of it or anything. This one's really straight too.
Yeah.
Another Highway Products bedside box. That's like those two I just put in the truck right there. Two on the bedside. It's a little dented right here, but you might be able to knock some of that out of it. Yeah, it's got the stands. Is it locked? It's locked. We could figure that out.
Yeah.
This is a monster of a box.
Yeah,
Check this thing out. Big old Weather Guard. Huge box. Oh, hey. Look at that. Not all rusted out. Very straight. This box is worth some money right here.
Yeah. This one's big too.
Yeah.
This one was a pain to pick up and put on the trailer.
Well, this one's all steel.
Yeah.
That's a super heavy duty, very good box. Yeah. This one and this one are probably going to be your two easiest sells.
Yeah.
For something good price. That's another very valuable one right there. That one's got a lot of value to it. And these are all basically bonus there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but I think those three are your main scores there.
Ones, yeah.
Yep. And you did good.
Yeah, this one's dented pretty good.
Yeah, I can knock that out some. I got rubber mallet. We can take and knock that back out. Get them cleaned up. Get them listed on Marketplace and see what you can make off of them.
Yeah.
All right, well, David is going to get to pressure washing. I am going to get to folding that all back up, spun around and unhooked so I can take the truck in and get some new tires on it, and we can start getting that truck ready for its road trip. And Rusty is going to supervise the whole operation. And I will keep you updated as David sells the stuff so we can see how much he makes. Put down below how much you think he's going to make all this. Yeah. Remember, he's $250 in the hole to start with. So what do you think he's going to profit? What's your guess?
600 profit.
600 in profit?
Yeah.
All right. See how close you are.